Did you guys see that the Gillette commercial that everybody's mad about?
No, I haven't seen it. I've only heard about it.
I don't know if we probably can't watch it because it's on like their official YouTube channel, right? Like I wouldn't want to. I'm sure there's music. I don't recall exactly the music, but it is in there, so we probably shouldn't.
Can you explain what the controversy is and what's up with it? Because I just seen about it and somehow it didn't pull me in.
Yeah, the only thing that offended me about it is it's bad advertising. Like it's just straight up a bad ad. Like it's not good at kind of tickling the fancy of your main demographic. And so like I was watching it like, how are they expecting to make more money off this? But the funny part of it was how everybody reacted, because it's just an ad where it's basically, instead of being like the best a man can get, well, men are kind of shitty. And then it'll show a bunch of guys doing like shitty things like bullying, and like a bunch of guys wearing grills being like boys will be boys, excusing their sons fighting. And then it shows like a guy standing there, like, and then it shows like some good men, some token good men, way more bad than good. But like people are all in a hullabaloo about it, and it's against toxic masculinity. And like Twitter was fucking hysterical around it, because you'd have somebody post like who was fine with it and be like, hey everybody, this ad is just about getting rid of toxic masculinity, not the bad kind, not the good kind of masculinity. We don't want to get rid of that. We just want to get rid of the toxic kind. And getting rid of toxic masculinity, that helps you men too. Because toxic masculinity is what makes it so you can't express your feelings and you can't truly feel heard. Don't you want to cast those shackles off and feel heard with your feelings and everything? And then if someone responds like, I don't like how they make all men seem bad by default in this razor commercial. And that same person from the front will be like, you're a fucking pussy, queer, dick-sucking incel loser who doesn't get any pussy. You're a bitch. You're a bitch, and you're so triggered by this commercial. And it's like, how fucking perfectly ironic is that? Is like someone will say, this is so men feel like they can just like get their feelings out a little more. Don't be afraid to share. And then some guy shares how they don't like it, and they're like, you pussy! You don't understand. We're trying to get rid of your kind of masculinity. You're being toxic right now. And it was like, first of all, if you have that strong of a stance either way on this razor commercial, you gotta take a step back.
I like to direct my ear towards Kardashian Pepsi commercials.
You're right. That is the priority. But I don't know. It's funny, like when they make stuff like that and the internet responds in a way that's totally antithetical, to what ostensibly they were trying to achieve.
There is kind of an issue that there are segments of society that act like most men are bad. That by default, you know what? We should teach men not to rape. I love the comeback. We should teach women not to throw their babies in dumpsters. Maybe in class, it could be part of a health class and physical education. Stop throwing your baby in dumpsters.
Have 3 images, like a woman putting a baby in a car seat, green check mark. A woman putting a baby in a crib, green check mark. A woman slam dunking a baby with the umbilical cord hanging out into a fucking dumpster. Red X.
Yeah, because women need to understand that throwing babies in dumpsters is bad. And that is the parallel to acting like, all men are rapists.
That is so silly. You'll see people, actual, mainstream politicians or public figures be like, stop telling me to be careful. Tell men not to rape. And it's like, how inculcated in your own world are you that you think that's not a thing? We've talked about it before. Name one crime other than child sex crimes in this country that's more reviled than rape.
Yeah,
I've said it before. I would rather be accused of murder than rape. Everyone would.
Rape culture exists, just not in America, right? I've been told rape culture exists in India, where they blame the woman for this. I think we've heard it in the Middle East and a bunch of places, right? Where all the guy has to say is, she wanted it, or what were you doing not walking with your cousin or brother, right? The rape culture is a thing on Earth, but in America, no one hears a guy raped and says it's cool.
It's the complete opposite of that. It's like those people are pretending that reality is totally the opposite of what it is when they pretend that rapists are lauded and people are like, let that rapist go. It's like, nobody, I've never met that guy. Where is that guy? He must be out there somewhere if you're talking about him all the time. I've never met him. Introduce me to Mr. Actual Rape Apologist. I'm sure there are actual people out there who just hate women enough, like
Well, I mean, like
incel
Woody
type.
always says, like one rape.
Where is this going?
One rape doesn't make you a rapist.
Right. Like if I bake
It makes you a
one cake,
raper.
am I?
Don't call me
if
a
I bake,
raper.
if I
Okay,
bake one cake,
but I'm
am
not
I
a
a
rapist.
baker? No.
You won't know you're a bakist.
You know, all I did is try something new.
A man who hasn't committed one rape and
Cast the first stone.
cast the first stone.
what was that TV show or movie where like some out of touch white guy is like, oh yeah, he's a rap singer, a rapist. You know, he calls like a rap singer a rapist. I don't remember what that is. That was fucking funny though. But yeah, the Gillette commercial was kind of like itself. I just think it's a bad ad, but
Is it?
really, it's just the reaction to it that's funny.
So I wonder if people don't know, Taylor works somewhere in the world of media advertising marketing. So he has a professional opinion on the Colin Kaepernick ad. With the dust settled, what do you think? It got a lot of attention, not all of it positive though.
It got a lot of attention. Like it's going to be fine in the same way that Gillette's going to be. Well, Gillette's a little different, and I'll explain why. I think. Well, this is just me, armchair guessing. Like Nike, they were like kind of trying to get their woke base to really double down and buy a lot more shoes, and their stock went up, and so it ended up being a good move for. I don't know how their stock is now. It's probably gone back to however it was before, but. So it ended up not being that big of a bad move for them. And most people at the end of the day, outside of Twitter and Facebook, don't fucking care about this shit. Like they don't fucking care. Razors, on the other hand, so already razors are priced really expensive. Like Gillette and Schick and all those in-store brands. It's retarded how expensive those products are for shit tier razors. Like really they are like those store-bought ones. They're often very shit and they're very expensive. And so there's been an uptick.
Gillette doesn't have premium razors?
They do, but like they do like premium disposable and like they're still not that good. Like at the end, they're really not that good. And so what has been a movement in like the last couple decades, because razor prices are getting so high and just, they're adding extra blades so they can rationalize making their margins a little larger.
Put some in there sideways. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, put some in there sideways. You need shit 7 blade this and that. It doesn't actually shave your face better. It'll give you the illusion it does, and it causes a little bit of face irritation, which means you'll need this cream. So basically, like more people have been going towards the safety razor route, which is just one of those, you take a cheap ass razor blade, you put it inside the safety razor, close it down, and those things are cheap as fuck. They'll last you for a lifetime, and a year's supply of blades might cost you $10. Like they're cheap as shit. And once like people jump off and get out of the disposable razor game, if they finally decide this is too expensive and I really don't care for this commercial, I'm going to do something else. Like they're not going to revert back to disposables of any brand because they'll have found a solution that's like more comfortable. And so there's a reason that people are using safety razors more and more, or straight razors. Like that's kind of more, I think, silly because like those aren't even that effective. What are you going to do? Like be like a fucking old school barber sharpening like that? Like no, just replace the blade in the safety
really
razor.
Jumping away from disposables? Because there's a reason they jumped from safeties too, like years ago.
There is. Yeah, but like it's just a matter of price for a lot of people now because razors used to not be as expensive as they are now. Like there's a reason you walk into CVS, Walgreens, at least where I live, like they're behind plastic. Like you have to take them up there and they unlock them because people steal that shit all the time.
They steal it right there in St. Louis?
Oh yeah, right here in St. Louis, they steal razors.
Shocking.
So, like Nike's gonna be fucking fine. Gillette, they're also gonna be fucking fine, but I think they will see a little bit of consumer base leaving for cheaper alternatives. And not even because of this commercial, just for some people that might be the final boot of like, hey, I'm not a shit guy and I buy your razors. Fuck you. I'm going to take a cheaper route. Oh, what do you know? I can do this. So, but at the end of the day, Gillette doesn't give a fuck because Gillette's owned by P&G, and P&G is a gigantic corporation that, like, if Gillette went under, P&G's okay. They're fine. Like they could lose Gillette. Like, so they can afford to, lose
some of those
consumer
consumer goods companies where one owns everything is surprising. Like the media, it's like Disney owns all that. Holy smokes! Yeah. And that happens in P&G, and is it Colgate? Another one? I don't know, but there's Procter & Gamble. I think that's P&G.
Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson. There's a lot of those big companies, GlaxoSmithKline. There's a ton of huge ones out there that like you won't even know, and you'll be like, well, goddamn, the people who make Prozac make Lego My Ego commercials too. Like, they've really got a corner on it. Feeling sad? Try Prozac or some fucking waffles. I don't know, whatever. Whatever would make you feel better currently. Yeah. So it's not going to impact Gillette's business one way or the other that significantly, but I can see some consumers leaving for the safety razor thing, just because more so for the price.
But it's part of the is all press good press thing. Because people talk about Gillette, people normally don't talk about Gillette.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, and at the same time, all these people make like me, like fucking fat-headed retard me, make an armchair analysis of this. It's like P&G is not the kind of company where like Don Draper is sitting in there in the 50s was like, what we need to talk about with razors is women getting molested. Like they're all like, Don, fantastic, mark it down. Like that's not the way they do shit anymore. Like there's entire wings of analytic people like figuring shit out, like doing little micro studies and stuff. And so if P&G did it, chances are they know they're going to get a good ROI. So I think that if you're going to ask anyone, ask them. We'll see in a week or two when it blows over and their stock's probably doing great.